Hey everyone, I've decided to finally fulfill my high school senior certificate of prophecy and start a YouTube channel. I was voted most likely to become a YouTube celebrity way back in 2009, so it was like 11 years ago, 10. No, it was 11. I'm actually doing this so I can get a girlfriend and maybe raise my credit score. I mean, either could happen, probably none, but let's hope for both. But I'll absolutely keep you guys posted on that. Today, I'll be baking exactly one chocolate chip muffin and talking about, I mean, you know what I might be talking about, it's Dunkirk. Obviously, I'm talking about the famed World War II battle and evacuation and not the 2017 Oscar-losing film starring Mark Rylance.
Into war, George!
So why am I making just one muffin? So during coronavirus times, I haven't been able to get one singular fresh muffin from the supermarket, and everyone who knows me knows I love just like one muffin from the supermarket. You can't get that because everything's like packaged and old and disgusting. So I found One Dish Kitchen for lonely single people who just need like one muffin, and that's me. I really want one muffin. And that's what I'm gonna do tonight. So I'm gonna mix the dry ingredients first. So we have half a cup of flour.
Working with flour.
Oops. What's this? This is a mix of salt and baking soda. It's baking powder. Well, let's hope it's baking powder. So pour that in. And okay, that's it. So that took almost no time to stir because it's literally 3 ingredients. So let's talk about Miss Dunkirk. You know, World War II was up, and literally no one will let us forget it. That's why Hollywood keeps making movies about it, and it's like, we get it, like it was bad.
Daddy, watch me twirl. Daddy!
Dunkirk was a battle and an evacuation in 1940, which was so long ago, but not that long, you know? I think it took like a week or so, and what happened was the British were in France fighting the Germans with the Belgians, and you know what, shout out to the Belgians, they're very underrated. I think the French were there too because it's like their country. Dunkirk is a beach. It's a beach town. It's like, imagine if war happened in Cape Cod. Well, something like that. So the absolute freak of nature Hitler was like, okay, let's trap them at the beach so they can't leave. You know, surrounded by all, how many people? Land, air, and sea, whatever. They were surrounded by air, land, and sea by the German Nazis, okay? No good. So Hitler was like, all right, trap them, and they started dropping bombs on the British and the French and the Belgians. And it's like, at that point, that's when Harry Styles can't leave, even though I know he wants to. I literally know he wants to. It's him and a bunch of other British actors. But yeah, they're stuck. There's literally nowhere to take shit. Could you imagine, like, what if you have IBS at war? What if you have IBS at war? It's not convenient. War is not convenient to people's digestive issues. Let's say that. So now that I've introduced you to Dunkirk, I'm gonna start mixing the wet ingredients. So we have this butter that is hard now, which was not supposed to happen, so I'll be right back. Okay, so I fixed the butter, just like put it in the microwave again. Accurate. So we're gonna mix this sugar that I already, what did I do with that? Oh, excuse me. I'm gonna mix this. And then make sure it's like all mixed together. I don't know if it like matters if there's chunky bits in here because it bakes. So that looks fine. And then we're gonna add this egg yolk. And you know what? I like finally learned how to separate the yolk from the gunky stuff. You know, it's been a long time coming, but I'm really proud of myself for doing that. So pour that in there, stir a bit, mix in that egg. The thing about this recipe is like it's very easy, but the one thing I'll tell you is that it gives me diarrhea every time, never fails. Can you spell diarrhea right on the first try? If you said yes, you're absolutely lying. We're gonna add some whole milk. Maybe that's why it gives me diarrhea. I bet you didn't know that, right? That we'd be talking about poop today. Oh. I added too much vanilla, but we're okay. So we're gonna stir all that with, whoops. So we're gonna stir the wet ingredients, make sure they're all combined thoroughly. including the extra vanilla. The one thing I'll say about this, like if you're ever at war, don't make this recipe. Any war, like past or present or future, once we go to war again, evidently, don't make this recipe because it's not, there's no bathrooms at war, please know that. I've mixed everything and I'm gonna add the dry ingredients. Oops, just like so. I'm gonna mix the dry ingredients now with the wet ingredients, make sure it's all combined, because that's what baking is. Baking and cooking is just combining ingredients. And people who are afraid of cooking just don't, because you just have to read a recipe. It's very easy. I actually don't get that people who are like, oh, I can't cook. Yeah, you can. If I can do it and I'm a grade A moron, everyone can. So back to Dunkirk while I finish mixing these ingredients. The little boats of Dunkirk. Isn't that cute, the little boats? Or was it ships? I saw boats. Little boats Dunkirk. So back in like war times in 1940, it was like very cool to help out soldiers, and like we were very pro-war back then. And like patriotic, and he's like, oh, I love the flag. I'm talking about like British history, but I feel like in America it's the same thing. Like war was lit. Basically the little boats. So the Navy, the British Navy, I think that's what they're called, but like fact check me on that, but keep it to yourself once you find out the answer. The British Navy was like, can we use your boats because like the beach is so shallow? And our big boats can't get to it. So, hey, you people with your pleasure vehicles, your pleasure yachts and boats, can you come help us? And everyone was like, yeah, for sure. So they like got their boats out and went across the channel to Dunkirk to save all those people.
Into war, George!
Including Harry Styles. And I mean, we thank those people for that. They saved like 331,000 soldiers over the week or however long it took. So that's really amazing for them. So I'm gonna add in the chocolate chips now. My mom just got these in the mail. I stole them from her. So I don't even know if they're good. If they're bad, I'm not even gonna say anything because I respect my mom a lot. I don't measure chocolate chips because it's fine. Like it's really fun. Okay. Yeah, I think that's enough. Isn't this exciting? You're learning about Dunkirk and you're watching me cook. So I'm gonna put it in this already greased ramekin and I'm gonna put it in the oven at 400 degrees. Okay, so while that's in the oven for however many minutes, it like says 30, but every time I do it for 30, it's raw and it's like, you can't eat a half-baked chocolate chip muffin. Even if you're, you know, high as a kite, you can't do it. So, back to war.
Into war, George!
Let's talk about Tom Hardy and Saoirse Ronan's boyfriend, Jack Lowden, at Dunkirk. So they were in like the Royal Air Force and like shooting people from the skies. The Royal Air Force was doing great work back then, especially like not even at Dunkirk, but like the whole war over there, like in the Europe part. Here's the thing, like you need those air people to save the beach people and the other like boat people. And you know, without them, it's like the Germans are gonna keep acting the fool up there and you need someone to stop them. They don't teach this in school or it's not in any textbooks anywhere, but you're hearing it here first, that Tom Hardy saved lives. He basically ended the war, you know, and I mean, a lot of people still died, you know, he's not Mark Wahlberg, but he did great work. So I'm gonna wait for that muffin to
Not this.
Okay, so I'm gonna wait for that muffin to be ready and then I will come back and we can wrap this thing up and you know, finish up this history lesson. So the muffin is ready and look how cute it is. It's like the little boat to Dunkirk. I can't wait to eat it, but it's very hot. I'm just gonna dig in, I don't care. It's cooked. Yeah, I'm a man. Nazi Germans were like, oh, we definitely won that. And then the British were like, it was a success. Yeah, it was a success, but like, the thing about war is no one wins. Winston Churchill was like, what a great success. You're not gonna hear anything else about him from me because I don't support him. I don't support his face. I don't support anyone who's ever portrayed him in a movie, especially Gary Oldman, because he knows exactly what he did. At the end of it all, what did we learn? We learned so much. We learned how to bake a muffin, just one chocolate chip muffin. We also learned that, you know, sometimes war does happen.
Into war, George!
World War II was crazy. It's never gonna not be crazy. Wasn't it like the last declared war? So at the end of the day, I love muffins and I love Dunkirk, the battle, the evacuation, and the movie. You know, they don't teach about Dunkirk in American schools, and I don't ever think they should, but you know, if your kid's asking about it, you just point them to this video and they're gonna learn so much. They're gonna learn more than they bargained for, actually. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next time on 80% Accurate. What? Don't do that.